Good morning, guys. I apologize. I'm working on my schedule, and my schedule's a mess. Um, I am not even going to try to get the bonding up this morning and get the computer working. So it's just no bonding. It's just us rocking and rolling. So let's just get into what I think is the most important. And I apologize for starting so late. I'm working on 8:15. I'm working my butt off to get there again. My schedule just changed drastically, and there's so much news to get through in the morning. It's absolutely insane. So it is what it is. I do think there's something that I could just point out. I think that you're very frothy in the market, and I think that this statement will help you. If you really look at open, this open had a tremendous trade, right? And then you gap down, and then you rallied back up, and then you're back down, and now you're bidding back up. This thing's actually causing liquidity issues in the S&P. That's how many people are trading it. So just be really aware of that. Really aware of that. And you have a couple things going on here that I just want to point out that I think I could really add value with. So if you take a look at the S&P, you just probably don't really want to fill the gap. I don't think you really want to go from Fridays, 4 o'clock or 9, or all the way down. And I don't think you want to fill this. I think you want to be really careful here. The last thing we really want is this hump, right? And you say it, and okay, and you see the break right here. And again, people always tell you, like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the, this. And then you're looking at it going, well, I don't know. People tell me not to worry about RSI. It doesn't work. And, just print this out and send it to them. So it's definitely an issue, and it's certainly something that you need to pay attention to. I cannot stress that enough. And I would certainly be paying attention to the fact that it did this. And I don't have a clue if you're done. If I was a betting person, I don't think you are. I truly don't think that you are done. Hopefully this gets better, but I don't know that it's going to. So for me, really watching this stuff, I think you need to be a little careful. I do. I think you need to be a little careful of how this stuff's setting up and, what you can really get out of it. So I would just be super, super careful on this. And I think that that's the best thing I could tell you. Now, from my perspective, I do feel, hold on one second here. Give me 1 second. A lot going on this morning. Yeah, we'll play that game. I do feel that you could turn, but I don't know what's going to get you there. Now, we have Powell speaking at, right? What time does he speak? 8:30 in front of the banking committee. Is that today? I think it's today, right? And the concierge will tell me that. He's got that. I'm sure he's got that on lock. I'm sure his head's not thinking about something else, his vacation. I'm sure he's on it. Nope, not on it. Opening remarks today at 8:30. God, he's just god awful. How do you get into a good MBA program? It's crazy. Okay, 8:30 today. We got remarks. C-SPAN. Oh, we even got the link. Oh, that's not today. That's March 24. So why are you telling me today? Doesn't he speak today? Is it me? Does he speak today? He does, right? Someone, Bueller. You guys can make me do more work. And you just let me yell at this guy. This poor guy just got yelled at. There he is. Speaks. Yeah, he sucks. Yeah. We're back to he's god awful. All right, good. So my rage was definitely validated. All right. Yeah, he does speak. God, concierge. We're going to put someone up from his job. I have to put him in the ring, make him fight for his job like Thunderdome. All right. So we have him speaking at 8:30. He's probably speaking now. I think he could actually really be a thorn in this administration side. And I think he's been very, very tempered. And I think he's going to have had it. we're going to go after him now because he wants like a gold toilet in this house or whatever he's doing with a special fountain feature at the chair. Like that's the thing. Like that's the thing that's going to set the whole market off. That like all the crap we have to worry about. And this is what we're doing. It's so frustrating. So, but here's my point. Watch 6,300 here because if you crack 6,300, I think you could have a bad day here. I'll just mark off these levels on the 5 so that you can see it. Let's do it on a 5 and then we'll go there. But I would continue to watch open today. What I can't get over is the amount of option volatility there. I mean, you have to be looking at, like, if you're an option like nerd like me, man, you got to be foaming at the mouth on that one. I just wish it was like a $30 stock and not a $3 stock. But what they should do is do a reverse split right now and just watch the sheer panic on everybody's face, because everybody that's short would go, oh God. Like, just go do a 10-to-1 split. Watch what happens. Or 10-to-1 reverse split. Watch what happens. The sheer panic on everyone's face. It'd be a mess. I'd watch these levels like a freaking hawk today. Like a hawk. You went through this like butter. And it was end of day selling. It was not us. Right? It was not retail. And I think this is super important. And you can see it. And some might actually use the phrase absolutely glaring when you start looking at the RSI. Some people don't use RSI, but that's up to them. Not everybody wants to win. So I'd watch these levels pretty clearly right here. And the question really is, do you get through your neckline? And are you getting indication that you're going to get through that neckline? I think there are the levels where I could add the most value to you and go from there. I really do. I think that's where I could add the most value. Let me get some more coffee here. Give me 1 second, guys. We're ready to rock and roll here. Let's do some names, and we'll do like lightning round. I'll go from bottom up, and I'll make sure they get through everybody. Because oh, good. That's perfect. It should work out perfectly. Give me 1 second here. Good. All right, great. All right, cool. So now I know what happened with the camera. The battery died. I tried to bond real quick, but somehow the battery died in the camera. I don't know how these things work, these internets. I'd watch your neckline here. Let's go to NQ directly from it. NQ, please don't give me that seed company. I think that's enough. You can see the DTL on it. I don't know that you have to go more than that. I really don't. I really don't know you have to go more than that. I don't think you need more than that. I wonder what he's going to say today. I wonder if he's going to just slam him at some point today. Or if he's going to be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do here. I'm leaning towards you're going to have a bad day or a bearish day. But I'm not really sure. You're getting even these mini divergences on top of like other divergences. You see like how the ES is over here and you see like where you're at here. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. See it? Look at it. So what you're getting is like you have this huge divergence over here, right? And then you have this other one over here, and then you have a divergence in a divergence, right? So I'm not trying to get all, inception on you, but you want to watch that like a hawk. I'd watch this super careful. I'm going to take questions today. Let's just start. Yeah, I actually bought calls on S and I sold like leaps on S. And then I sold leaps, puts and calls, leaps on it. I think it get bought. I think it does get bought. I don't know why people are like, well, the company came out and said that they're not going to get bought. Really? You mean the guy that's buying the company doesn't want other people pushing the price of the stock up? I'm floored. Shocked, I tell you. I'm absolutely shocked by that. What I tend to see what people do with these kind of plays is they get involved and they don't understand that they're looking like a week out. And all the corporations usually do is say, oh, we'll just let it die down and the price will drop. So I tend to go out like 3 months to 6 months on calls on these kind of buyouts. It makes more sense unless you know for certain. And the company's like, yeah, you got us. Yeah, we're talking to them. Like Foot Locker was like, we're pretty much going to buy Foot Locker. And so this was like such an easy trade, right? Because they're telling you, look, I'm still up another $1.75. You should probably read the terms of these agreements. Most people thought this was only going to 24, but we know why it's going higher. But something like this, when you look at something like this, like, we're definitely not buying the company. I mean, like, didn't they just come out on Norfolk and say, well, we're definitely not buying Norfolk, but they're buying Norfolk. They're trying to figure out how to do it. So like, they've been saying forever they're not buying Norfolk. Chevron's like, oh, we're going to walk away from Hess. We really don't have any interest in Hess, right? Well, I don't know why. Like, for what purpose would I want this on a Bolivian stock market? Like, for real. Oh, look, this midstream. That's interesting, isn't it? Because Hess's midstream becomes Chevron's midstream if they buy the whole company. Note to self, look into this. Okay. Questions. Where were we going with this? It's a simulation in a simulation. It's like a hot pocket. It's like a hot pocket. Dude, it's like a hot pocket in a hot pocket. I do think it's going to drop, and I think it's going to present a huge opportunity. I really do think that. What I tend to do with these, and I find it extremely helpful, is to go and drop a peak VWAP and then just see where you're at. So I'll get rid of my Spider-Man whole thing here with all the tentacles. And I know some people like tentacle, but whatever. Some of you are weird. So if you look at this, right, from here, what are you doing? Well, you're trying to close below what? Peak VWAP. Well, of all the things that are bearish, like if you're long, like the one thing that sucks is closing below peak VWAP, and you just did it. So can you go lower? Yeah, and they pretty much like mapped out the entire trade for you if you're a long-term guy, because all you got to do is say, well, if you get above this, you probably want out of it, right? So going out like a month and saying, oh, I'm going to buy the 200s, I think what everyone's doing wrong, like I keep analyzing because we have this options room, and I keep analyzing like the positions. They're buying like the the spec stuff, but they need to go out further. Like the more I look at it, if they went out further, they'd make so much more money. They'd be so much more right. Like it's crazy. So something like this, you look at and go, oh, well, I think it could do this by Wednesday. Well, what if it does this in a month? Like, there's a really good analogy, but I don't want to say it because it's not G-rated. But like what you want to do is like just take your time, just walk down the hill. Like you don't need to run down it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's where people are making the mistake. Like if you went out like 3 weeks to a month and you looked at this, you have a real good chance of like breaking down into that because you also broke back into the control bar right here. And when you do that kind of thing after you're out of it and they pull you back in, yeah, man, like that's bad. I've seen bad before. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. I love the company. It's going to be a monster. Are you overvalued? That overvalue is just a function of who's going to pay what for what. But yeah, to some extent, I do think some of this stuff gets overvalued. I would be more careful of the stuff they're trying to bid up this morning that they're trying to lure people into, to be quite honest. Like that's your chart and you're going to tell me that you're up $8 today, $7 this morning. Like tell me what I should short, like without telling me what I should short. Like that to me is just, as someone likes to say, absolutely 100% glaring. And that's how I look for it. So that's how I see it personally. What else do we have here that I find of interest? Someone tagged me and now I can't find the tag. Sorry, guys. I'll find that from there. And I'll go there. All right. What else do we have here? Let's keep going. MEDP. We need a hot pocket. We need a hot pocket. I should reach out to them. Maybe I can get a brand deal. I get deals all the time, like stuff all the time. They always try to get me to do like stuff. No, I don't know. What is getting bought out? Is that what it's doing? Didn't they raise guidance or something? Isn't there news? I mean, what do you know that everybody else doesn't know, right? So let's get to this MEDP. There should be news. Jumping 43%. Company's largest single day gain on record. You beat earnings. That's an insane move for beating earnings. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge move. I mean, they raised guidance from 12.26 to 13 to 14. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know that that's the, like, I'd be super careful of that. Like, super careful of this. I tend to not short good news, but man, oh man, like, that's a huge move on something that seems so, trivial. But it's done it in the past, hasn't it? Like on news, and it just kept going. So, I'm kind of surprised that you're up that much on that news. It was a really good report, reading it very quickly, but I'm just very surprised that you're up that much. I'm wondering, yeah, like maybe go out there and buy some of this stuff sometimes, like 150 points, like to go out there and print like the 400 puts or something. And go out like a month. Like sometimes it's not the dumbest idea in the world. The 400s are going to implode. And then you could probably like sell they have August. So you could probably you could probably buy the 400s and then sell the others to pay for it. And worst case scenario is the sell goes up, you get the premium, and now you own the stock. Like that would be worst case scenario, so like some kind of almost credit spread to an extent on the puts, because the implied vol will just crack like an egg. It will. All right, let's keep going. I keep telling people on UNH that zero is a real number. Like people don't believe me with this. These names are in. I have a whole list of these names that are perfect shorts. Like they're all perfect shorts. Like they're just perfect. I don't know why everybody thinks this stuff's going up. A lot of people are like, oh well, Kennedy didn't do anything. He's been in office for a couple months, man. He's got 4 years. So, man, I don't know. I was looking at this the other day, like this thing's in a lot of trouble. Maybe they're just waiting for earnings, to come out and then they're going to short it. I don't know, but this thing's in a lot of trouble, like a lot. So anything in health, I just don't really understand at all. I don't understand why anybody's going out there and going, I want to be in it. I had a whole list of like these. Go look at all the any of this stuff, any of it that is from when he got appointed. All the healthcare names, all the medical companies. Look at CNC. We shorted this at 40. I got guys that are still short this. I've got guys with huge positions that are still short this thing. It's been the easiest trade in the world. Like it's such an easy low beta thing, man. Like this stuff's not going up. They're cutting the spending big time, and they're reallocating funds. So it is what it is. You got a lot of time there. A lot of time there. I don't know what they're going to pay for us. That's not really my wheelhouse. I'm more interested in, wherever it goes, it goes. I already sold calls against the entire position. So I buy calls, and sell puts. It's kind of complicated. Maybe it's not that complicated to some people, but I do it on a calendar spread. I'm in this. I don't know. I didn't do anything with it. I'm probably going to get stopped out at break even if I was a betting person. That's what I think happens. Trying to bid me up here in this market. Now, I'm just not buying it. I'm really not buying it at all. Coin, I love long term. I think you should be really afraid of what happened yesterday. And the idea that they're just bidding it up 10, like, let me tell you who's bidding it up 10, just so you can see who's bidding it up 10, right? Oh, this is helpful. That's super helpful. There it goes. I mean, this is what's bidding it up 10, 3,000 shares, 2,000 shares, 700 shares. Like they're just letting retail bid it up. Give me 1 second, please, guys. So, if I look at stuff like this, like I always look and say, well, how much volume's behind it? I don't really have a lot of volume here. Like, so I don't know, man. Whenever I see this kind of stuff and it's like retail and they're just letting retail bid themselves up, it's like watching, like kind of like watching a mouse take a piece of cheese and get itself into a trap. I'm not saying you're not going higher, but when you look at a chart that's doing this, and I love the name, don't get me wrong. Like I think the name's the cat's pajamas, but when you see this, there's a bill to pay. And the question really becomes like when is the tab, and then how much is the tab? Like that's always the question with it. It's not if you're going to pay a tab, but it's a question of when. So like even here, like if you see this, you see like how you're up here and then you see how it breaks down, and it always resets to me at like the neutral line. That's where it resets. Like, is that really the end of the world here for people? Like that bar down, and that's when you finally undercut. And maybe 258 to 238 is not a big deal to people, but if you're in at 270 and you drop 40 points, it probably is, right? So that kind of stuff to me, like some people are like, well, I don't really care. But if I'm going to drop 30 or 40 points here or something commensurate like that, and this was like a light one, but if I took the top to the bottom of that, it's 12%. So if I was just saying, all right, well, a small correction here is 12%, right? And I take from the high up and say, well, where's the 12% correction? Well, that's going to put me like 386, like right here, which is not unrealistic for this thing to get to. I just think people need to think like that on this stuff a little bit. Like this one was pretty obvious, right? This one, when it broke, nobody saw it. Here's December 24, and then here you are. And people are like, oh, but it kept going. Yeah, it does until it doesn't. And then when it comes home, there's always a bill to pay. It's just a question of when that bill is. So it's very different than when it's stacking the same way, right? And if you go through and look at them, that's why I always laugh when people are like, oh, well, here's another one. Okay, well, what happened? Well, it went down. Okay. Like again, it's not rocket science. There's always a bill to pay. It's just a question of when that bill's coming. And you can use other things to time it, but you want to be super careful here. Everything that we know, people know, except really the fact of how much they're really going to make. And they're going to make a lot of money, like a lot of money. So it is what it is, but just keep that in mind. I think Google is setting up to absolutely crush. And I think that people are getting this. And I think that's why it just does not care about anything right now. It's just pushing. If I go and take a look at that and go take a look at Google, like for how this looks, option wise, I think it's really interesting. For me, the question becomes, how do you play this? I might just sell like puts on it because like the 185s are $3, I think, or something. They were 4 yesterday. Or I might sell the 90s, and just leave it because the 90s are like, what are they? They're like $5, right? Worst case scenario, I own 185 stock. And you can always buy like the 180s behind it for like $1 so you don't get destroyed. It's really not the dumbest idea. I think if you go and take a look at the pricing of some of these options, it makes a lot of sense if you're really sophisticated and you know how to do this stuff right now. You have a lot of opportunity if you know how to do this stuff right now, like a lot. If you know how to do put spreads and call spreads, some of the volatility, like this open trade, man, you start looking at this stuff and you understand like what those puts are valued at, what you can get for those puts. Like it's crazy to me. And people say, well, just trade the stock. But, I don't know why bother. Like to me, it's like, why bother? Because I can just go out there and, and sell like the threes. Like you're selling threes or 3.5s, right? I think the 3.5s are probably going to be $1 or were $1 yesterday. Like you're going to get $2.50 stock, worst case scenario, or you make $1 by Friday. Like it's literally a no brainer. I just don't know if like something like this stops by Friday. I don't know what's going to get it down. Usually these things end in a bang. And when people asked me yesterday, they're like, well, where could it get to? I'm like, oh, you can get to $5, and that's where I'd look at shorting it. I don't know. I think you're getting to that spot with the short, like, your daily RSI is a 90. I'd like to sell, I'd like to sell calls, but I also have a brain, so I'm not going to do that. I'd have to wait for a day where it drops and then it breaks down the next day and go from there, because you can stay up here for a long period of time. But like 100 RSIs, like, that's it, man. Like you usually don't get much more. So it can pull back and then go sideways, but you want to watch this stuff today. Like there's a lot of opportunity there. GEV better crush. You better crush tomorrow. And I don't think you make it tomorrow. I think there's so much baked into this. If you go from here over, like you're 200 points higher or 67% since last earnings. And from your peak here, you're 100 points higher. So this better be the mother of all earnings calls. Like it better be like we invented air and we're the only people that have air. It better be one heck of a call. Well, look at the book value. Look at tangible, like that's what people don't understand about some of these names that are moving, like KSS and this stuff. Like there's always news, one, but two, like stuff like this, there's got to be news. There's definitely news. But like what people don't understand about, and look, you can see it. Look at it end of day. Somebody definitely knew. Isn't that crazy? Look at this end of day. 350 on, market on close, every single bar. Bought. But nobody knew anything, right? Somebody knows something. Let's find out what it is. Let's do something together. But this kind of stuff, like go look at the book value of this company, the tangible book value of it. It's crazy where some of this stuff's trading at. So let's see if we can find this together and then go from there and see if I can find out what the news is. There's got to be news. That's definitely not it. So let me see if I can find it here. And then I'm going to have to jump, guys. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, it seems to me that I don't know. It seems like it's just moving on dumb stuff, but it does make sense to me for this thing to move the way that it is. Just because I'll tell you why. If you really went out there and did something simple, like just said, "What is tangible book value?" I'll get it for you real quick. Hold on, so you can get this. Like a lot of people don't understand that they don't lease their space. So I've been looking at this thing forever. But they don't lease their space. So the one thing about like when Sears went under, the reason people bought Sears and Kmart is they owned their building. They owned all their buildings. And it makes a big difference. So like current tangible book value, like this is what people don't get about Kohl's, is like $30. Like their real estate's worth a lot. So I some of this stuff, some of these retail names like this, like that's one of the reasons I was buying like ANF. And people are like, why are you buying this? It's blowing up. I'm like, it's trading 7 times earnings. Like people don't understand how depressed like this kind of stuff is. It's really, really depressed as far as pricing. Like it's trading at 8 times earnings because everyone's worried about tariffs. Kohl's has issues, but they have a real business. Like it's a real business. So just understand that. Like their tangible book. If someone bought the company and split it up, the problem is they don't want the debt. But the real estate holdings, yeah, it's there. It's kind of one of the reasons why it always kind of hung out up in this area at a discount to its book. There's a bunch of companies that are trading under book value, guys. Like Hog is, right? Harley Davidson's under book value, or just at book value. TPH is under book. Oh, it's coming back over book value. MHO, like they're just at book value. Like people don't understand how depressed some of this stuff really is, especially in this space. So keep that in mind. All right, I got to jump, guys. If you're on the wait list to get in, please look for a letter. And gold is probably spiking because of something Powell said, to be honest with you. All right, got to go. See you.